All right, we're back in for a big fucking session today. We've got back, hamstrings, and some glutes at the end. So exercise volume-wise, today's a big session. So we start off with just a touch-up of back, a little extra. It is an area that I want to improve. So we've already done that single arm pull down, lat focused. Now we're going to go onto a dumbbell row, so a little bit more upper back focused. And then we'll be into the hamstring portion of the movement. Everything has been tracking well. We're into now the second day of lows after that refeed week. Weight was right back down pretty much to where it was before the refeed week this morning, so after one low day. But we can see in the progress pics or the check-in pics that there was a big difference within the week. So there was just more pop and there was a lot more condition to it as well, which was nice. So we'll be in for essentially 7 days of lows now. Give it a good push. But, you know, these lows, I haven't yet been like starving. I think it's more of a boredom hunger to eat, if that makes sense. So feeling how you should feel with low days. But let's get into this fucking big fuck off session. So moving into first hamstring movement, we got the single leg curl. I like to have some sort of unilateral exercise in there. Start with this, we've got 2 sets here. Then we're going to do 2 sets on the seated leg curl. Lower volume for these 2, just because we've got such a large day. And I do already hit the seated leg curl on my quad day. So volume-wise across the week, there is enough. So I'll get the most out of these 2 sets here, 2 sets onto that, and then we should be pretty pumped by then to get into the first, or the big compound movement of the day. So, moving into big boy movement of the day, leg press. We're gonna aim for 3 sets here. Knees were a little funny on Monday, so we'll give it a good push today. They're feeling decent at the moment, so we'll give it a run. I can definitely feel the difference this week, having less carbs compared to last Friday's session. 2 days in, as I said before, into this low, and the pump just isn't the same, which is expected. But it's important to be aware of that and not change anything. It's too far out to be changing intensities and any other of that shit in training. You still need to fucking push balls to the fucking wall, but it's just being mindful of how things may start to feel when you are getting depleted. I'm not there yet, but it's good to be mindful of how you are feeling, or how your body is feeling. I don't often talk about what I do nutrition-wise, mainly because I know what I do is so boring, especially in a prep. And a common thing you see in prep is people trying to make their food as tasty and extravagant as they can with the minimal calories or macros to do so. So things will become sweeter than they normally are, or you use other shit to fill the meal, which I all understand. So by no means am I saying not to do this. This is from a preference point and what I do. Along the lines of making your meals boring or not as flavorsome as you can. And the reason for being so is so that you limit the amount of cravings that you have. So Ruby often has a go at me, or she'll pipe up about my meals being so boring. I eat fish and rice, beef and rice, eggs and toast. And there's oats in there if I can fit them in. But they are all very boring meals. Seasoning wise, I don't put any seasonings. Salt and maybe pepper. And that's it on those. And filler wise, I might have a salad on the side, just a plain salad. And the more I reflect on this, the more I realize I don't really have cravings in prep. I want to eat more because I'm hungry. But I'm not sitting here like, fuck, I wish I could eat this, or I'm craving this so badly, sort of thing. So I guess what I'm trying to say is you need to have an athlete mindset during a prep. I understand wanting to make your food taste good, but you're fueling for a look on stage in this 16-20 week period. So if you want to be the best athlete you can, there's going to be sacrifices. And doing things, sacrificing certain things to make things a little easier down the line, to me is worth it. You know, I could put all the seasonings on my foods and finish that meal and be fucking craving it like crazy. But I'd much rather have my bland meal, be satiated, and not sitting there at the end of it like, fuck, I just had a bowl of cereal and it's gone nowhere. Because it's just full of sugar. But again, this is just my preference and what I do. For this 20 weeks, however long your prep is, you're an athlete. You're fueling for a reason, you're fueling for a look, you're fueling for a purpose. You're not just a weight loss client. So for however long that may be, make the sacrifices along the way to, in the long run, benefit you. I'm not saying you're not going to get cravings and not going to be hungry by eating this way. But if the option was there for me to eat beef and rice with salt and a bowl of cereal with some protein powder, I'm choosing the beef and rice 10 out of 10 times. Because I know I'm going to be satiated, I'm going to feel a little bit full, and it's going to last me a little bit longer than if I was to have that bowl of cereal that's nothing but sweet. For 16 weeks, suck it up. You're an athlete stepping on stage who's chosen to do this. So get over your feelings. If you can't suck up eating more boring food than you normally would, maybe you should look at prep, not doing a prep. The off season's the time to make your meals extravagant as you can. But right now, you're fueling for a purpose, and that purpose should be to present the best package on stage. Now, if you're a fat loss client or you're someone just in a deficit, different story. We've got a wider range of things that we can do to make sure that you're satiated and you can fit X, Y, Z in. But if you're an athlete, you need that athlete mentality. It's as simple as that. Plain and boring, over the sweet shit. Why am I leg pressing on a hamstring focus day? So, in leg press or any squatting movement, you are going to get hamstring in there. It's impossible to do these movements without getting hamstring or even glute involved. Impossible. You cannot isolate just the quad to press. Firstly. Secondly, I need more leg overall in general. So having another session where I'm doing some sort of heavy compound movement is not going to set me back. Providing I'm recovering enough, then this is only going to benefit me in the long run. Having these I've got, like I said, 2 leg days. I have a squat variation in the first and a leg press variation in the first session, and I've got a leg press variation in this. So I'm making sure that I'm ticking all the boxes. My volume across the week is covered for pressing movements. Now, I've made sure with my split setup that there is enough recovery through in between the 2 sessions. So my first session's on Monday, where I do most of my pressing and squatting. Today, I have 1 pressing movement. The rest of the movements on today's session are all accessories. So by the time Monday comes back around, I'm very rarely ever sore on the Monday. My recovery from Monday takes a little longer. It's probably compounding a little bit. I probably have some soreness there that I don't really feel. There's some fatigue lingering. But Monday session, I'm usually not recovered till about Wednesday, Thursday. And by then it's time to press again. So set up whatever muscle group you're training. Set it up in a way that you're recovered and you can fit that volume in there. For any weaker muscle group, you want to be hitting it more times during the week. The hardest thing, if you're someone like me, which most of us are, I don't think there's many pro bodybuilders watching this, but if you're like me, you need to bring up most of your body parts, just evenly across the board. You need size, you need muscle everywhere. So for me, the hardest thing is working out how to fit everything into the week and be able to recover from everything during the week. That's the hardest thing for me, and it always has been, because I'm hypercritical of myself and I don't think anything's good on me. That's just the life of being a bodybuilder. But play around with things. If you don't have a coach, if you have a coach, speak to the coach. But play around with things, try different splits out. The beautiful thing in what we do is there is no right and wrong way. and there is multiple ways to achieve one thing, okay? So you're never wrong for trying something new. Just give it enough time to work. Don't try something for 2 weeks and be like, nah, didn't work, gotta change it up. Stick to that shit. And when I say stick to it, it's not just stick to it for like 6 weeks, 12 weeks. It takes time. It takes so long. So you will probably need longer than 12 weeks. That's just the bare facts of it. Unless you're a genetic freak, then you might respond really quickly. But for most of us, it's going to take a lot of time and consistency. That's just the name of the game. Give it time. Okay, so hip thrusts, second set because Ruby called on the first one. Fucked up the filming. But one benefit to dating a wellness girl is I get booty cues. Or I get tips on how to do things the right way. Now, she'll kill me if I get this wrong, but I am new to hip thrusting. I will admit that. But what you want to focus on for a hip thrust, toes facing forward, knees at 90 degrees. So you don't want your fucking feet on the platform up here. Feet at 90 degrees here. Now you want to spend most of your time, or a good chunk of the time, in the stretch position, being the bottom. Okay, chin tucked, tight brace on the core. You want to make sure that you're keeping your lower back against the pad the whole time. Perks to dating a wellness girl. Okay, so finished on hip thrust. Like I said, we're going to move into that dumbbell RDL braced against the barbell. So you're going to have the barbell set up in a squat rack around the hip crease, right in there. Now, I'm getting the hinge from going forward. So I'm not taking hips back, pressing in against that bar, stretching forward. Like I said, I want to focus on glute ham tie-in with this. That's the reason why I've done the hip thrust first. Glutes are firing, so when I go into that RDL variation, my glutes are on throughout. So I want to be focusing on that stretch forward, pause in the bottom, and thrusting hips right through the bar at the top. I'm almost imagining just going around that bar the whole time. That's a wrap. I need to get the fuck out of here. When I started, the sun was up. The sun is no longer up. So, like I said, it's a big fucking session. But it needed to be done. So I'm gonna go home, get a couple meals in, get my protein shake in. And that'll be it for today. Do all that good YouTube shit. Like, share, subscribe. Tell me if you like it. Tell me if you don't fucking like it. If you want, let me know what you want to see more of. That's it, really. I'll see you all soon.